So I am very excited to have Beth learn with me, and I have been following her for maybe about a year now and following her courses. She is the founder and owner of Fit2B, and I'll have her talk about Fit2B, but I now use her videos, her online studio for core strengthening, healing for my own core postpartum after birth, and I also refer to her courses and site within my Rhythm of Birth and Postpartum Journey online courses that I offer, and I'm an affiliate of her program, and I love the fact that she offers safe fitness for moms after birth. And now she's incorporating a new course, which I'm very excited about because I have two young girls, a girls course. So I am excited to share with you about the girls course and have her in the flesh, sort of, to talk about her studio and her training and the heart behind it. The biggest thing I love about Beth is her heart and passion behind what she does to offer healthy, safe, nurturing healing for girls, for young women, and really talks about the body image aspect from young girls all the way to womanhood, and that is very important in our culture. So, Beth, please tell about your studio and a little bit about how you got started.
So I am the founder of Fit2B. In most of the workouts, we do have other guest instructors that we've added over the years. 7 years ago is when we started, back in 2010. And I am finding out that that says a lot about an online business, that we've been able to stick it out and grow, and that we started from nothing. We're a family-owned, debt-free business with a huge ministry worldwide. And I say ministry not like a church thing, but it's really my heart and passion to reach women with the truth that you don't have to fall apart after you have babies. You're not designed to fall apart. That would be bad design, whether it's evolutionary or creation standpoint. I mean, we wouldn't be able to survive as a species if we had our babies and completely fell apart. So what's happening now is our culture just doesn't support women. Our economics of motion don't support women. Our ergonomics really don't support our muscles and our bones to be as strong as they should be for birth and recovery. So a lot of my work is educating and informing women of better ways to move gently, loving ways to move that really bless their bodies and help them to recover faster and breathe better and feel stronger in their daily life through fitness. So I have a degree in exercise and sports science, and I've been a certified group fitness instructor since 1997. And so over half my life, I have worked in the fitness industry, and I love it. I love the look on women's faces when they get emotion, when they connect with their bodies, when they connect their breath with the work of something, and they feel stronger and they stand taller, and there's this radiance that pops out on their face. It's just really thrilling to me. So Fit2B is an online portal to fitness. We have over 200 video workouts that we have filmed and categorized and organized 7 ways to Sunday. And there's pathways and there's programs, but there's also e-courses. And as a writer, I've also done a lot of writing throughout my life. I worked as a journalist in college and was a beat reporter and done all that stuff. I actually went to college to become a political journalist and quickly realized that I loved fitness a whole lot more. But I've brought that writing ability into the e-courses that we provide. And our most recent offering is an e-course for girls. It's written to girls, ages 9 to 14, but I jokingly say ages 9 to 99, because really there's so much information in it that everybody can learn. As I got submissions from various contributors for the course, because I'm not the only writer. There's other contributors, other expert voices on all the various topics. There were things that I learned or that I made connections from one piece of information to another piece of information and had this aha moment, even with as much as I know about the female body. So it's just a really awesome course, and we're going to talk about that today.
Yes. So that is amazing. Your story, how you got into it, your passion, and really what your focus and work is for young girls and women. So let's jump in and talk some about the girls course and just what it entails and really how it will help young girls and really what the focus is, because it's not all about exercise and it's really unique. I have reviewed it with my 8-year-old daughter and I was surprised at how unique it is and the conversations that it started. And I want to share a little bit about my aspect of preparing women for birth and how that really ties into teaching girls at a young age about their body and how it changes. So talk some about the course.
I will. So what I'm actually going to do is take it a step further, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I'm going to just do this, share screen, and I'm going to take you to the girls course here. So this is what people see once they're inside. There's me. And this is not my bra strap showing that there's a tank top. Sometimes my film crew misses a beat when it comes to helping me adjust stuff. And I
did not even notice that. And I'm usually pretty particular about those kind of things. I never noticed, so that's okay. Now people will notice.
I know, right? So I just wanted to tell everybody it's not my bra strap. It really is a tank top underneath. We're definitely a more modest fitness site.
Yes.
I joke with people, no bellies or butt cracks on our site.
Or breasts, right?
Yes, exactly. Like we have literally cold turkey stopped a filming session if my film crew sees down my shirt, they're like, whoa, Beth, hold on. We got to change camera angle. We got to change your shirt. I mean, obviously as we move, our breasts move. So sometimes there might be a little bit of cleavage that shows. But we're really careful because we really want to be a family friendly fitness site. So this is the intro page. There's videos. My favorite thing about the course is that there are guide notes. Now my internet is going a little slow just because we're doing this broadcast right now, but this is for parents right as they get going. And I want to emphasize that the beauty of this course is that you as the person guiding your child through this, you choose lessons in any order. You can take advantage of the lifetime access. You can learn something now, and then when your daughter's ready for another piece of information, then you come back in and you select the next lesson. And there's lessons on fitness and alignment. There's mind, body health, becoming unstoppable. That deals with mental health and emotional health, fashion and beauty, female anatomy, bladder and bowel health, sports and periods, charting your cycle, period products. And the other thing that I love about this, well, I love all of it. Obviously, I'm the one who put it together. So you're going to hear the word love a lot. We've got this principle section, and we've got more things coming to this course. Already, one of the favorites has been this beautiful bones principle. And it's just so fun. It takes you right to it. You print it out. And it's got this chance to look up. So I encourage people to look things up online with their guide, find the names of the bones, but then write a positive word about those parts of your body. And that is really empowering for girls to do at this early age. We also have a coloring sheet coming from this graphic designer who wanted to contribute to the course. She just loves what we do and she volunteered to be a part of it. And that really is how we built this. Female anatomy. A lot of people are concerned about how much to say about all the different parts and when to say it. And I'm of the belief that you do know your child best and you do know when they should know different things. And at the same time, though, there's a lot that they can be taught without it being sexualized. So I worked really hard to gather resources and come up with wording and talk to other contributors. And I did write this particular lesson as well that would keep sex out of it, because 9 to 14-year-olds, while they might be starting to cycle, they're not ready for the responsibility of sexual reproduction yet. That can come later. A lot of our girls in my particular niche are a bit sheltered. They are very innocent, and we want to protect that for a bit longer, as much as we can. At the start of each lesson, there's an additional guide note that says why this lesson is here. And if there's another contributor, it talks about how I met them and why that contributor is a part of it. But here is what I really love about this lesson. And this was a suggestion from one of our members. She says, look, what if, I want my daughter to know about her ovaries and her uterus, but I don't really want to talk about the clitoris just yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
This allows you to drop down different portions of this lesson. So as you preview the course, and I do encourage parents to preview the course, you can say, oh, I really like that description, or, oh, I'm not quite ready for that description, or, okay, I like parts of that description, but I'd rather read it and then put it in my own words for my child. And then you can literally sit here if you want and choose what they see. Now, these anatomy drawings, as you can see, it's also a drop down. These were drawn by a 16-year-old, the daughter of my business partner. Okay, so I sent her MRI images. I sent her various links to various other images on Google and across the internet. She did these. We had to redo them a few times. She chose the colors. And I was like, she made the labia blue. Okay, well, but she liked that. That is what she wanted it to be. And what's surprising a lot of people is many women do not know that the clitoris, which is these pink, sharp-looking objects here on the left-hand images, that the clitoris is big. It's not just a little knob on the outside. It's huge, and it has health effects on the uterus, and we talk about that. So it is possible to talk about the clitoris, which is usually seen as just a sexual part, but it's not. So we talk about it from the health angle. We talk about, and actually, I'm just going to let you look at this. So here's the clitoris, right? This is what we said. Recent MRI scans surprise a lot of people by showing scientists that the clitoris goes deeper inside than was once believed. It wraps partly around your vagina and urethra, and when it's activated, notice that wording, it flexes in a way that moves your uterus, giving it a healthy massage. Your clitoris is very sensitive because it has more nerves than anywhere else on your body. You have lots of body parts that help you feel good. Your tongue lets you enjoy sweet treats. Your eyes let you enjoy beautiful things. And your fingertips let you feel the soft fur of a puppy. So wording to girls, young girls, giving them things they can relate to. Your clitoris is also designed for joy and pleasure. Now, people are raving about this because they're like, oh my gosh, you totally summed up the clitoris without making it about anything that could make anybody uncomfortable, right? Nobody can argue with this information. It's very scientific. It's very laid back. So that's just kind of a sneak peek into how this course is put together. And I just really want to get it into the hands of more moms and grandparents that are taking their kids through this. This is our fashion lesson. This is a friend of mine named Alice. She's amazing. She has several videos. She talks about skincare, hair care, and then I talk a little bit about fashion and dress codes. And it's all from a non-religious, non-dogmatic. It's not about, oh, we're going to dress this way because we don't want to excite boys. It's not about that at all. This is about taking care of ourselves. So there you have it. That's kind of a sneak peek behind the scenes.
Wonderful. So Beth, thank you for that very detailed explanation of the course and just letting people see inside of it and really being courageous about using the correct terminology. My husband and I decided early on with our girls that we were going to use the correct terminology for the parts and that our girls aren't embarrassed about those parts. We talk about them openly, and it's important that girls, as they grow up, you're not embarrassed by your body or think it's shameful or that you have to hide it. Obviously being cautious as a girl ages, and we haven't really talked about within our home what the appropriate age would be when my husband doesn't see the girls naked anymore, that kind of thing. They don't see my husband naked, but that kind of thing that we're cautious about to protect that innocence, but that they really are comfortable with their body, and as they age, as they start menstruating, that it's not something embarrassing to talk about with their parents, with their mom, and that the mom can go and really pick out the appropriate sanitary devices. And you've talked a lot about those products that are on the market, which is wonderful, and that it's not an embarrassing thing, that it's normal. And what I am excited about and what's helpful for girls in our culture to begin to become more comfortable with all of that talk. And when they're vulnerable as young women one day in a doctor's office or in the birth room, that they're going to be vulnerable. They're going to be showing all those parts during labor to possibly strangers, to a group of people looking around them. And when I talk about the shift in mindset of labor land, they're not going to necessarily care who's looking at them. They want to get their baby out. But when they start to recognize, wow, I've just been completely spread eagle for who knows who that could have come in during my labor, that they realize this is a beautiful thing. This is beautiful part of birth, the beautiful part of postpartum and breastfeeding. You know, I maintain women's modesty when I'm doing a prenatal massage, when they're not in labor, to protect that modesty, and that's okay to, you know, to regard that and respect that. And after birth, and they often say, but you've seen everything. Well, you're not in labor, so it may be different and whatever they're comfortable with. But, you know, allowing women to feel comfortable in whichever setting, you know, as that process goes, you know, as the aging process goes, from, you know, young girls all the way to, you know, womanhood, motherhood. And, you know, that starts at an early age. And if we are not talking about it as parents, those parts or menstruation and normal, you know, bodily things, or if we are kind of hush-hush and saying, well, don't tell anybody such and such, then that might really skew them to think that it's bad to talk about when they become pregnant or when their growing bodies are growing a baby. And I remember my mother, 40 years ago, I'm the youngest of 3 children, she was told by her very conservative community, you should probably stay home because you're starting to show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that, you know, I had never known that until I became a birth educator, and she shared that with me. That's really sad. You know, obviously that's not our culture today in most places, but, you know, it's a beautiful thing how our bodies change, and young girls need to recognize that.
For sure. I love that you, as a doula and educator, are making the connection with this course and how your clients deliver and give birth and recover, because I also have seen that connection in my clients. And it was through a lot of threads in my forum over the years, and my own clients saying, Beth, can you please make something for our girls? I know I need to talk to her. I want her to be confident, but I don't know where to start. And I was like, you know, at the time, well, my daughter was, 12 take away 7 to 5. Okay. So she was 5 when we launched Fit2B. And at first I was like, I do women. I don't know about the little girls thing. But as I've raised my own daughter and got comfortable talking to her about all this stuff and realized that it doesn't have to be hard. You can get scientific. You don't have to make it sexual. It doesn't have to be about boys. It can be about respecting yourself and making sure boys respect you. And then making connections with other contributors. Really the tipping point for me was connecting with Dr. Julie Granger at the Women in Women's Health Summit in New York last year. She is a physical therapist that specializes in young female athletes. And I thought to myself, if I can get her, I will put the course together. She's my linchpin. And I nervously approached her and started talking to her. And, you know, she had just spoke on all these things that directly applied to my daughter at the age that she is, with being a young female athlete herself and the female athlete triad, and all these risk factors that will play out in her bone density, in her uterus, in her pelvis as she gets older, depending on how she treats her body now. And so I totally pitched her right there, and she was all over it. And so I was like, okay, here we go. So her lesson on periods and sports is basically a story. It's really neat. It's like this 3-page story about a young girl who is a competitive athlete who starts missing her periods, and her girlfriends are also having trouble with their periods. And then she goes to the doctor with her mom, and it's like she's talking to the doctor and the doctor is educating her, but it's written like a story. And it's so neat because she touches on nutrition and hormone changes and getting her period back, and just, it's just good. It's just good stuff and easy reading for any girl 9 and older. So I really want my daughter to not be embarrassed when it's time to have pelvic exams. And we have a lesson on that too. That is our one male contributor, is a male midwife. He's one of 200 in America.
I've not seen that video yet. That's really cool.
Oh my goodness. It's
Yes.
amazing. Now
Wow.
get this. He literally, okay, so everybody's like, oh, you have a guy. My business partner is a dad. He has 4 kids and he's like, Beth, I don't know about this lesson. But then he watched it with his wife and she was like, Chris, this is good. This is really, really good, because when our oldest daughter she needs to get a pelvic exam, this is good, because I didn't know. And I was traumatized the first time because I had somebody who was rough with me and who just stuck the speculum in, and I didn't know I could interview him. I didn't know I could walk out. And he talks about that. He talks about your rights as a patient. He talks about how, look, if you want to have your whole volleyball team in there with you, then you should be able to do that. And he actually climbs up on the table wearing a paper gown himself over his clothes, and gets into the stirrups. Now, how many times have you wished that your OB would be like, oh, I bet if they were in the stirrups, they wouldn't be saying this. And he does that. Now, here's an inside scoop. When I posted a little picture of him doing that in our Facebook forum, they were like, oh, I hate those paper gowns. And there started this whole thread about hating paper gowns. His clinic, because of that thread, now offers real robes.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
So,
that's
and
amazing.
he actually works with a lot of Medicaid clinics or clients. And they even have gone so far already as to send a couple of them home. One gal said, I've never even had a real bathrobe on. They sent her home with it. They're like, you can just keep it. And so he's just super cool. And, you might know this too. Usually girls, you don't need a pelvic exam until you're sexually active or you're in your early 20s. That's when they like to do them. Okay. So if your daughter's not sexually active, which, we really do pray that she's not that young, because it's not healthy. There's a lot of responsibility, and most girls that young are not ready for that responsibility. We know it happens, but we would like to avoid it. So, however, if she's on her period and she notices something strange down there, or there's a rash, or there's a lot of itchiness, or there's bumps, or there's a lump, she's going to need a pelvic exam soon, not later. And she needs to be ready for that. And she needs to know what a quality provider looks like. And the reality is that there are still more males in gynecology than females. 92% of urologists are males. And I cite those statistics in the guide note from me so that parents understand, well, hold on, why is there a guy doing this lesson? Because the reality is pretty much every woman is going to have a guy down there in her business at some point in her life. My daughter already has. She was a urological patient for years as a child. She had to have kidney surgery. Her surgeon was a male. So we need to be preparing our girls, but also showing them, hey, here's what a quality person looks like. And if you end up in the clinic of somebody who's not this good, leave. You can leave. You can pick somebody different.
Yes. And so many of my clients want a woman, either a midwife or a female doctor, and that they are rare. And the providers I work with, thankfully, I could cry with how thankful I am for the male providers especially. And whether one of my clients has met the one in the practice or whatever, I try to assure them that they are in this because it's their passion, not because of any weird male dominance thing, and that they can recognize the difference. And if they're not comfortable, and that's okay. My first daughter was delivered by a male, and I felt very comfortable. He felt like a father to me. And,
mine too.
So it was very a personable thing. Now, not all male providers are like that, obviously. So it's good for young girls to learn that you can have your rights, say no, or choose somebody different, or be honest about it to your parents. If you're not comfortable and your parents or mom or whoever is taking you does not pick up on that, tell them. Be honest about that.
Well, and I think it is more empowering for young girls to hear from a man, you can say no.
Yes.
And it is almost for them to hear it from a woman.
True.
Right? For a man to say, hey, if you end up with a guy or a woman, because sometimes women can actually be more callous than men, in my experience. And that is purely anecdotal. I tried to find some research on it. I wasn't able to dig anything evidence-based up. But oh my goodness, I hear far more unsympathetic interactions happening between female providers in my clients than male providers. And maybe it's because as women, we tend to be like, I've had cramps, I've given birth, suck it up, you know, and that's sad, but that is often the experience. Women can sometimes lose their sympathy and their empathy, and that's not okay. Whereas men, I think it's because maybe they do revere that part of us, and so they naturally want to protect it and be gentle. Maybe. I don't know. It's purely theorizing here, totally wandering down a rabbit trail, but still, I think it's important to not stereotype providers based on their gender.
Yes,
because it has no bearing. It has no bearing. And the main goal of a parent or caregiver should be to find their daughter the best provider that they can, the one that she is most comfortable with. And you have to be willing to walk out and demand respect sometimes in order to find the best provider. But he gives questions to ask of the staff at the clinics. He's just so good. I'm just so excited to take my own daughter through that lesson. She's seen bits of it because she's over my shoulder.
Did you add that one recently? When I went through it maybe last week, I don't think I saw that one, or maybe I just missed it.
It's under the, there's a lot of lessons, and we're going to be adding more. It's under the first GYN visits.
Okay, maybe I did skip that one because it didn't pertain to my daughter yet.
Yeah, exactly. So, you do the ones that fit her, and then, you save the other ones for when a question comes up. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Hey, Grandma. Because we do have some grandparents getting this because there's more grandparents raising their kids these days.
Yeah. Well, thank you for stepping out and being, just taking a risk to put this together, and not, I know that you had feedback from the community before you created it, and
yes,
just putting this out there. And if you have other aha things or something else that you want to add now, and then tell people how they can find the course and whatever you're offering right now for the course.
For sure. So you can find the course by going to fit2b.com and clicking on shop. The direct link is fit2b.us/shop.
You can throw the referral link in there for me at the bottom of this.
Yeah. Well, I don't have yours. You post it. You do it.
Okay.
Yes, you'll have to add it. So definitely. So, we are very grateful to people that share us, and Shalene will get some back for posting this. And we're not shy about that. I think it's good to support other people who support us. It's an awesome thing to be a female business owner that can support other female business owners. I'm pretty proud of that.
Yes.
I think the other big thing I want to mention is that we are going to be adding a couple more lessons, because when we launched this, we started hearing right away from people that want to be a part of it more. And the lesson I'm most excited to add is one on self-defense and abuse. With the Me Too campaign going around right now, and I can say Me Too, I believe it's very important, and I have an opportunity here to empower girls in this area as well. Some simple things on how do you defend yourself? How do you recognize a predator? How do you avoid being preyed on in ways that do not victim blame or victim shame? Okay, we are not even going there. I can't stand that, any of that. The whole we're not going to talk about, oh, well, you need to dress a certain way. No, it's not about that. Because it's not a girl's fault when something is done to her. And I'm also talking with another gal who will be co-contributing to that lesson about what if you have been abused? How do you move on from that? And she is a survivor herself. So that's a part of the lesson and the course that I hope is not needed. But again, it may be needed. And if it's needed, I want there to be a resource for that. So that will hopefully be added in the next month or so. But the great thing is, don't wait to buy it, get it, start going through it, and we'll just keep adding stuff as it comes to us.
Yes.
And then you don't have to pay anything extra.
Yeah, that's the beauty of online courses, and the same thing with mine. Mine continue to grow. I teach online childbirth and postpartum courses, and gathering stories, hearing stories from other people also of, how they have found value in the course. That can be powerful too. Even having a segment where young girls, after they've gone through the course, what they enjoyed about it, those kind of either testimonials or case studies, however you could call it, those kind of things would be valuable too, to get them to share from their perspective. And I've incorporated that into mine. So, well, it's been wonderful to talk with you and for you to share what you do in the world for fitness and helping young girls to see their beauty and to acknowledge their body, and just everything about girlhood is important to really talk about and to celebrate. So thank you very much for your contributions. And if you are a mom or a dad or anybody watching this and you know of a young girl, if you don't have one yourself, share this link or share about this course with them. And it really helps to open up conversations with your with the girl, daughter, whatever relationship you have to her. And it's a very valuable, very powerful course. So please get your hands on it. And Beth, again, thank you. And
you're welcome.
Look forward to hearing more from you.
Yeah, anytime.